can do is you start basically forcing through as you're fisting him into here, and start smashing him down. As you start smashing him down, he doesn't want his knees to go together. Right, so one way is to kick Cal and start going for a traditional half guard. Right, so that's one way he's going to deal with that. So however you do this, we just need to get rid of the knee shield. Once we got rid of the knee shield, right, the same arm that we would be trying to hit this underhook battle with here is going to be my other arm, my far arm. But it all needs to be done at the same time. I can't just go like this, right, and not do anything with my hips. Yeah, it's not going to work. So my left arm in this case is going to be shooting through, forearms going onto the mat. At the same time though, I need to drop my hip to the mat. Here. Everyone okay with that? So my forearms down his back. I'm switching my hips and my arse is on the floor. Do not raise your arse off the mat. You're going to get octopussed. Yeah? So make sure you're nice and tight here. Make sure you're nice and tight here. So I need to make sure that my top arm is on monitoring. Okay, we can start to use this for the ankle. We can start to use this on the knee. And we need to make sure that our weight is on our opponent here. Alright, so for the first little bit, don't drill it as in like 50, 60, 70%. Just drill it as you would, 2 for 2. But I just want to make sure that you're keeping your weight on your partner, and make sure your partner on the bottom is giving you feedback. Because at this point here, at any point where you're switching your hips and we're off balance in any way, shape or form, you're also giving him your back as well, right? So you just need to play it carefully. So hit this hip switch. Have about 10 seconds or so with the person on bottom, just trying to move you, trying to get out, trying to push away from you, yeah? And just make sure that your pressure is on, right? The last thing is, make sure that you're the one underneath his elbows, yeah? So when I've hit my hip switch here, at no point do I want him under here, on this side, or his other arm under here, and being able to push me away, yeah? So I'm treating this as, this one's my underhook on this side, but my arse and my hip is on this side as an underhook on that side as well. Yeah, so you're trying to constantly force his arms up onto there. Yeah, it's going to make things a lot easier when we start looking at passing and hitting off stuff like that. Is that okay? So, number 1, clear the knee shield. Number 2, shoot your underhook, get your forearm on the mat, get everything pinched nice and tight, but switch your hips on the same time. And then get your weight on him. Because his natural reaction to this will be to push you down and away from him. That's what he's going to do, right? He cannot do that if his elbows are up here. Yeah, that's the easiest way to deal with it. Is everyone cool with that?
Unless it's big Nick.
Unless it's big Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nothing I teach here will work on big Nick or pad.
Just FYI.
That's just, thanks, Twist. It just doesn't work. So anything I teach you here will not work on him. So, good fuck.
Why is that?
Because he's just fucking yoked fuck, bro. He's a big boy. He's a big friendly boy. Right? Okay, give it a go. 1, 2, 3. Over if it's just fucking super easy to get our leg out. Then we've gone over the bit where he's still got our foot, right? So now we're basically bringing in our other leg to help us out with this. It's a really strong and powerful one. So as you can see here, he's still got my knee. He's crossing his feet. He's doing everything he can. He knew I was doing it. We had to fucking.
He'll soon fucking open his legs.
Oh, he will, yeah. So I won't do it. Don't worry. That's for after. So we got to this position here. I can't get my leg even to the point where I'm trying to walk my foot up and try and get this out. He's just too strong with it. So I'm going to utilize my bottom leg. So at the minute I'm doing like a pinching sort of motion. So my top leg is kind of like pinching back, and my knee is just there as a wedge, kind of pushing forward. But you can see that my left knee, if you can't see, move so you can. But my left knee is underneath his leg currently, right? So it's not really doing much. So what I'm going to do, let's say, get a nice tight grip of this. Get into here, like I say, push the hand in the hip to stop him from moving. But if I'm trying to get my leg out, it's easier to push on the knee. Yeah, don't try and push on the hip and try and get your knee out. Yeah? Right? So that's to get the knee out. This is to stop him if he starts to get his elbows down and starts pushing you away. So, you get to this position, we need to brace him because I want to keep him where he is and I want to move myself. Right? my hips will come off the floor just for a split second, but then I need to drop them back down again. So I'm doing a bit of a technical stand-up. So I put my weight through my elbow, I'm putting my weight through this foot that I've got trapped. And I'm going to bring my left knee in, right in front of him, right? Now, he's managed to get his, no, it's fine, keep in there. He's managed to get this in here, right? And that's absolutely fine for now, right? Because I've still got my bases this way, I'm still pretty comfortable basing that way. But you can see here, my left knee is right in front of his thigh, yeah? Pretty much in front of his cock, yeah? So the whole point of this is that now I'm even more powerful in terms of my pull and push. So now if Tom keeps trying to keep hold of my leg, pinch it, come on. Yeah, I've got this proper, you'll feel it on bottom, it's a really good wedge. So now if he keeps trying to keep hold of my leg, it's very easy for me now to start back stepping out. I've got this knee right in his way. Like I said, the whole point of this is that I want him to stay where he is and I want to fucking compress him and, you know, make him feel miserable as fuck, right? If he can move his hips, it's a lot harder for me to do that, yeah? So at any point where I can get into this position where I'm locking his hips down there, bringing my knee in front of his hips into there, even stepping over and clamping into there, yeah? I've got all the time in the world. This isn't a place that I want you to rush and do stuff. This is a place where, especially while he's got his elbows up in the air like this, and I'm twisting his spine so he's weak, I've got all the fucking time in the world, yeah? And like I say, we can either back step off into here, we can still take them out if we want, or we can start picking up his knee, turning him away. And that's not very nice either. All right, it's up to you guys what you want to do. But that's the biggie there is being able to bring in your bottom knee without unbalancing yourself. Yeah. So make sure once again you're trying this. If you're on bottom, let them do it once or twice. But then, after a couple of times, as they're doing the manoeuvre, as they're doing this manoeuvre here to bring the knee in, yeah, I want that person on bottom to move a little bit as they're doing it. Yeah, but you should be in a good position where the elbows are up, pig, where your elbows are up, and we've got this nice and lodged into here. And even if you don't want to push, even if you can't push, you should still be able to actually hook, open his fucking legs. Nice and tight. Make sense? That's the last one we're going to do, and then we're going to do a bunch of positional stuff in there. Yeah? 1, 2, 3. Go. Our whole aim here is to make sure that we get underneath. Now, we need to remember as well, we've got this foot here, so that's a nice little base on this side. If he does try and take us to his left, we do always have this monitoring hand, which can help us out as well, right? So, a couple of things to sort of look at here. In no-gi especially, when using this guard pass, we need to look at the hip movement. He's going to be able to move his hips a lot easier than he is during the gi, right? Because of the friction and stuff. So we need to make sure that at any point we're sort of playing with this, sort of pushing it away, even pulling it in as well, right? That's going to give you a little bit of space. But if you feel at any point where this person's trying to move up that way, take this hand, go straight in, and kind of cup inside the hip here. Yeah, this is going to be like one of your best friends in no-gi when using this guard. So if he starts to try and move back up, just start to palm off on his hip. Yeah, that's going to buy you a little bit of time, right, whilst we can then push off this and then start forcing my elbow up. I want to keep my forearm nice and tight to his back, but as soon as I want to start getting his elbow up above his head, I can start to splay it out just a little bit and then start to bring it up into here. Alright? So the more time that you spend here, the more time you'll sort of get used to being comfortable in this position, right? Try and get his upper body as high as humanly possible. It's going to make it a lot harder for him. You can start palming off and straight arming onto here. Now my main aim is to get this knee cleared. Alright? As soon as I get this knee out, I'm pretty much set. So you can start to push onto here, but if you're squeezing really hard, it's really difficult. So the aim is start using your toes and your heel and start walking toe and heel to try and get your foot as close to his bumhole as humanly possible. Ethan. So I'm not going to be able, you know, Tom's on fucking gear, so I'm not going to be able to, I'm a natural athlete, bro. I'm not going to be able to push these big beefy fucking fireman legs down, right? But I can keep them there with a nice straight arm and start walking my foot, okay? As soon as my knee clears out of this, we don't just rush and start fucking coming over here. Yeah, it's too much space going to be opened up. So, once this is out, we keep it out, then we start concentrating on the upper body again. And we're trying to get this as high as humanly possible. Now the aim here is to do my personal favourite, because now I'm fat, is the fat man choke, right? All at the same time, I need to get this knee driven across down to the mat, but at the same time, I'm also going for the fat man, right? So as the knee's coming over here, I'm dragging this elbow back, just so it's, my hand is to the side of his head here. Now by the time that the knee touches the mat here, I've sank nicely into place for the fat man choke, right? Now, if he wants to keep my foot, lock my foot up nice and tight, squeeze his thighs, that's fine. I can start squeezing this, bit of mother's milk, make sure your chest is in the back of his tricep, and we're going as far round with our arm like we're doing a head and arm choke. Clasp your hands up. He's either going to tap from this, or he's going to be so uncomfortable that he's going to let the leg go, and we get to our mountain. And then from there, depends how fancy you are. If you're a quick nippy little cunt like Ethan, you'll probably start hitting some fucking back tape or something like that. If you're a big fucker, hit him with that cover. Just start getting him with the fat man choke. But don't do it separately, yeah? Don't do this sort of into here, make sure my hip's down, clearing that. I'm being a fucking horrible bastard trying to get my arse to the floor. Walking that out. I don't want to go here. And now he's just going to straighten arm my leg. Yeah? So like I said, all at the same time, this needs to be done. As I drive this, now I collect. Now you can do whatever. Is that okay, guys? How's that? I'll show you after. Alright, guys. Let's stay there. 1, 2, 3.